Hello guys, and welcome back to a brand new video here on Two Ordinary Guys. Hope you guys are well. I do want to start by saying at the very start of this video that this is just how the virus is affecting my life. I'm aware that it's affected many millions of lives, even if not billions of lives across the world, but this is just how it's affecting my life and my studies, and I'd be interested in knowing how it's affecting your studies as well by dropping them down in the comments. That'd be really interesting. So I do want to just say that I'm going to be raising issues about, my studying life and stuff that's just affecting me personally. It's not me, ranting or talking bad about an area of a topic, but it's just kind of what I'm going through at the moment in time. And I kind of wanted to share that with you guys, if that makes sense. So let's have a backstory. So I was a first year paramedic and everything was really good, and I started to have doubts about the course, about what I wanted to do and the area of where I wanted to spend the rest of my career. In short, I wasn't really enjoying the ambulance service as what I would have thought originally. So I started to, I thought maybe I need to suck it up and just go through placements, and I was enjoying in placements in a way, but not enjoying them in other ways, and I wanted to reach out and talk to people. So I've spoken to lecturers, I've spoken to many people at university, and they gave me some really good advice. So first I would like to say, if you are going through doubt, speak up. Speak up about what you're going through, and you will receive help, I promise you. I put up with this for many months. I recorded videos about how I was really enjoying placement, which deep down I actually wasn't enjoying placement. I put on a brave face throughout most of it, and I really regret doing that, and I pledged to myself that I would never ever do that again and try and be as transparent as possible, not only on YouTube but kind of to my family and friends, because I was hiding it away from those as well. But I decided with my friends and families and lecturers' advice that I need to follow what I enjoy most, and I was always split between nursing and paramedic science, but I was more drawn to paramedic science from a very young age, as I've mentioned from documenting my journey here on Two Ordinary Guys. So I was more drawn to paramedicine, but I really did enjoy the concept of nursing and the caring side of it. And most of all with paramedic science, I was struggling with the fact that when we went to a patient, sometimes we didn't know what was going on, or we helped the best that we can. We did everything that we could without, with the training that we've been given. We'd take them into A&E, and then after the shift I would never know what happens with them. And I'm aware that this is kind of probably the same with nursing and the areas of nursing as well, but I kind of wanted to have more of a caring role rather than just treating them with what you've got and trying to find out what's wrong with them, and then treat them on the way and trying to find their pathway. I wanted to be that pathway, and I wanted to be in the hospital setting, and that's kind of where it stems from. But obviously there's many more kind of areas that made me change to nursing, but that's kind of a different area. But if you're interested in the full video, I did record like a 35-minute video. I'll leave it up here. So currently the virus has affected my studies massively. I obviously wasn't at university, but I needed to do a couple of things that I needed to do in order to get into second year nursing. So I also needed to do a medication exam that I needed to do face to face. So now we're having to do that online. So on Tuesday I'm having a half-an-hour medication exam with one of the nursing lecturers from the university on a Zoom call, and then we're just doing that over. So basically she's going to be reading out the questions and I'm kind of going to be answering them, and then she's going to mark them there and then, which is good. They've adapted the way that the university are doing things, and that's really exciting. But that's kind of one way that this virus already has affected my studies before I even started nursing. And I kind of want to talk about it because this is kind of a taboo area that people are actually really concerned about their studies going into, whether it's paramedic science, nursing, or an area of a field that they need experience going into their qualified job, and university is one of them. And when you aren't getting that from the university, it is quite scary. So obviously in September I'm going to be starting potentially as a second year if I was to pass this medication exam on Tuesday, which I'll keep you guys informed with. But potentially I'll be going into second year, and if there is a second wave, this could affect my studies in a number of ways. So currently at the moment what I'm most worried about, and obviously this is if the worst case scenario, and if this lockdown was to go on for a long time, or we have a second peak of the virus, then potentially I could be put on an action plan, because obviously even the first year nursing students have had their placements affected. So I don't know how they're going to manage this, if they're going to put everyone on an action plan or kind of change the course a little bit with the NMC standards. But for my worries is that when I do start, I would be put on an action plan. And because the nurses, obviously Lucy is a second year nursing student, so I've kind of been following her journey as well and giving her advice, and she's been telling me what's going on, and I can see what's going on with the course I'm going to be doing next year, which is obviously I'm in a better position and most people are. With those that are on action plans, they can't go out and have a paid placement. They can only go out and have a paid placement. They can't go and do a normal placement because Health Education England won't allow that. So you need to be not on an action plan in order to go out and have a paid placement. If you don't do this, then this could affect your hours and you might have to do them in third year, which is what the situation is at the moment for those. Obviously the main worry for me is because I've been doing Paramedic Science and I'm transferring to nursing. Obviously they're completely different job titles and you do a lot of different things as a student paramedic that you would do as a nurse on the ward environment rather than pre-hospital. Then I feel as though this is going to affect my studies if this was to continue, which it's looking likely that it is at the moment. So that's obviously one of the things I'm quite worried about when starting in September, that if this lockdown was to go on, that potentially I'll be on a action plan, which will then mean that I might not be able to go out on placement, which then potentially means that I would have to catch up all my hours in third year and I have to do my dissertation, and obviously that's the most important year really, is your third year. So that's kind of what I'm worried about. But also as well, and you guys probably watching this can vouch for this as well, is your clinical skill sessions are going to be on hold. At the moment, students are having lecturers obviously online because they can't go into lecture halls because of the virus. So potentially I could go through second year with having very, very minimum clinical skills sessions with my cohorts. Also, I probably will have to do most of my learning potentially at home. I know the university has issued that they are trying their very best to have everyone come in to university, which, looking at it at the moment, it's not looking very positive. That I know the cases are going down, but I can't really say myself, but I'm pretty sure there is going to be a second wave, which is not very nice to say, and I always want to try and be positive on these situations, but I just personally feel as though it's not going the right way. But hopefully in the next couple of weeks the cases will go all the way down, and that'll be a really, really positive side. So for me, really personally, it's kind of, this could affect my clinical skills at university. I won't be able to practice with the clinical skills session we normally have every week, and like I said, I know that it's not just me going through this is all of the nurses, Paramedic Science, and everyone attending university. Their lecturing sessions are going to be affected. I know that very, very well, and it's kind of, this is why I wanted to record this video, because we're all in this together. I'm not going to break out in song, but we are kind of all of this in this together. So it's kind of an area that I wanted to address because not many people are talking about it, and I'm kind of don't want to just not talk about it because it's quite an important thing to talk about. So yes, I am worried about the clinical skills sessions next year. I am worried about that potentially I might be having to be put on an action plan, which does worry me because I don't want to be on an action plan, and I want to be a competent nurse when I do qualify. This is only a 3-year degree, and potentially I'm missing a year, which means I'll be going into second year, and if my second year is affected, potentially in third year I will have to be doing my sign-off placement pretty much being my first placement. It's kind of a scary thing to do, so I don't want it to come to that, but this is kind of the worst case scenario sort of environment that I'm kind of talking about, if that makes sense. So someone asked on my Instagram kind of what are your interests and are they going to be affected by the virus. So my interests at the moment, and this is just at the moment, are palliative care. So I want to go into to become a palliative care nurse and hopefully work up then, right up from when I first qualify and kind of specialise in palliative care. And personally, I do feel as though this is going to affect me because obviously you won't have more free roll about where you're picking your placements. You'll be given an area, potentially helping out on the front line, and I really feel as though I'm not going to get the experience in palliative care as what I probably would do if this virus wasn't here at all. Yes, potentially it could, but also I might be lucky. In the meantime of doing this, I've applied for healthcare assistance at Compton Care, which is palliative care, so I can get my experiences that way. So just because this virus is affecting my studying, there's no reason why if you're interested in something you can go out your way and do something. For example, I also work with NHSP bank work, and there is a lot of shifts that do, which has a massive palliative care ward, so I can go there and pick up shifts there. So like I said, just because this is affecting my studies, it's not going to affect my area of interest that I want to go into, if that makes sense. Please drop down in the comments kind of how this is affecting your studies. I don't want to make this video kind of a doom and gloom video, and kind of, I have spoken about the worst case scenarios, but I've kind of just spoken about what's on my mind at the moment and what I'm most worried about when I'm starting my new degree in September. That before I was kind of nervous anyway, and it was a massive decision for me to make. All of a sudden has become an even bigger situation. I'm going into a new profession. I'm skipping a year, going to second year, which I can still make the decision now to go into first year, but there are many other reasons why I want to go into second, finance being one of them. So that for me isn't kind of an option. I do have to go into second year, but these are very scary times for all of us, and hopefully we can all stick together during this, during these difficult times. So thank you for watching. Make sure you do subscribe down below, and also check out my videos, which I've been speaking about, updating you guys on my nursing journey. I upload every Friday, so if you're interested, come back every Friday. Also, Jacob uploads every Monday, so if you're interested, go and check Jacob's video out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.